Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 131 of This Week at Shrouded. I'm your host, Tay Greener. Tonight with us is Mr. Wreck. Thanks for being here.
Hello.
We got a lot to talk about, actually, at Destiny today, which is wild because there hasn't been a lot to talk about. But, you know, we got Arms Week live. We got some changes to Arms Week because Destiny is, or Bungie is listening. And then we've got a bunch of stuff. You know, we got the Dev Insights weapon tuning article. We got the This Week in Destiny that came out today with some stuff about Renegades, including the new dungeon. And then, of course, we got a Renegades content calendar that has some stuff in it that we didn't know, and we'll go over that. And yeah, there's probably like a million more things. What?
What do you want to start with?
What do I want to start with? Why don't we start with Equilibrium? So, spoiler alert. We know the name of the new dungeon. Kylo Ren is on board a ship.
Sure sounds like him, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. He even says the line where he kills Han Solo. Oh, man, I was like, oh, guys, too soon. It really isn't. It's been like 10
Not
years.
Kylo Ren, it's Kylo Fat Hippo Man.
Kylo Fat Hippo Man. Yeah, anyway, he's narrating the dungeon trailer. It's not him, but it sounds like him. It's like it's almost his exact voice.
Kylo Gall.
And he
Brock
says he says some of the lines leading up to the death of Han Solo in The Force Awakens. So it's pretty wild. Anyway, it's called Equilibrium. It's going to launch on what was the day? Shit, December 13th. Yeah, December 13th. They're doing the whole dungeon race, being hosted on the Bungie channel with Evan and CB again. That's all fun and dandy. I might actually participate in this one since I'm not working much in December. I'm taking time off. Yeah, we'll see. I might actually be prepared enough to actually contribute. Chad says the dungeon looks sick. I didn't get a lot of actual dungeon information, I think, from the trailer. Maybe I'm just an idiot and don't understand things, but it looked like a fun trailer. You know, guns, crossbows, the dark saber, all that stuff going on. But I didn't really. I know they don't want to give anything away, but it didn't. It just looked like any other Destiny place to me. So the trailer didn't actually get me super hyped, but the Equilibrium, or just the name of it is not. It's always nice to get the name and get the actual date this far ahead of time. Like it's 30 days out, and we know when day one's gonna be. That's I don't know if that's common anymore. I can't even remember, but it might be. But they changed the date last time, which is what fucked with us. Anyway, they shouldn't this time since this is a week and a half after launch. Before for the epic raid, they for Ash and Iron, they announced one date, and then like a week before that, they pushed it and changed it on us. They trolled us, chat. They trolled us. Anyway, it's gonna be great.
All right. Well, I'm always looking forward to new dungeons.
Yeah.
That said, please, everybody, temper your expectations. This is a whole different Bungie from even the last dungeon that was released. So just you know, keep your expectations appropriately for the buggy mess it's likely to be, and be okay with headed into that. So it looks good. The trailer was good.
Yeah,
looks like a lot of reused assets, but it's a cabal thing, so that doesn't really surprise me. But you know, looking forward to it. It is yet another mission that is about balance, like Equilibrium. How many missions do we have with Guardians now that's about finding balance of this or that? There's like 6 of them at this point. So it's like a theme in Destiny. We're always like trying to find balance again. Let's find balance again. Oh, we're imbalanced again. Let's go find balance again. So Anyway.
Yeah. Balance. I did kind of. I know that they're really leaning into like the Star Wars stuff on this, but I laughed a little bit. Like, you know, he created the First Order to get rid of the Jedi. I mean, the light. Um, you know, it's pretty funny. I know they named it. He said a different name, but it resembled the First Order. I can't recall what it was. And to extinguish the light, and I'm just like, they're real. And it was Kylo Ren saying it, basically. They're really leaning into this shit. So,
you know what I worry about,
Hmm.
honestly, and this is not just me trying to be a curmudgeon like I normally am on this show, but I'm kind of afraid that if Renegades is too successful, they're going to start leaning into these crossovers even more, and I do not want every expansion or every year to have a big crossover 6-month event. I'm just not about it.
If it's good, then I don't care. If they make bad crossover events that are terrible, then yes. But if they come out with this thing and somehow they make it even awesomer because it had an extra budget because Lucasfilm or Disney dropped some money on the expansion, which I have no idea if they would or not. Better content to me over Trump's. I get what you're saying, but if they could make better content because they get money from whoever it is, that's
if the content is still clearly Destiny and isn't too on the nose
yeah,
of
yeah.
the crossover, then fine. But the more and more we see coming out of Renegades, the closer and closer and closer it is to literally punching Star Wars in the nose. Like at first it was just like, here's a tap on the shoulder, and now here's a schmack to the chin. It's getting closer and closer to just being straight on the nose.
Yeah,
Eh,
that's right. Well, I guess we'll see. We'll see what Renegades is like. It might just suck butt and they never do it again. I feel like if Renegades bombs, though, we may be having a different conversation.
Yeah, like what game are we gonna play next?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you know what? Let's pivot. Let's pivot to something that's tangentially that's Destiny adjacent. Sony had its earnings call last week or this week.
Oh, right. Yeah.
End of last week. And they essentially reevaluated. They not reevaluated. They addressed the valuation of Bungie and reduced. They took a loss on their books, because Bungie is not performing to the degree that they think it's going to. It looks like Bungie is still a moneymaker. Like if you look at live service games, they are the biggest moneymakers in the industry still, even though most of them don't have the player counts of like, Call of Duty is going to have this next week. The ongoing revenue that the live service games is still more than those games make, right?
Yep.
So they're not going anywhere. But the more stuff you see like this, the more earnings calls. I don't know how many people that listen to the podcast or that sit here or that, I don't know about you, Greener, if you've ever sit on any earnings calls for anything that you're invested in or any companies that you've been part of.
Nope.
I sit in earnings calls for my company all the time because a lot of times you can gauge what's coming to you as an employee sitting on those earnings calls and listening to outside investment groups ask questions and get answers about the strength of your business. And when I see Sony recognizing such a big loss in valuation, it does make me a little bit worried for what the future of Destiny is. Not that Destiny is going to go anywhere. I mean, it's probably a solid revenue stream. But if it's not like a really, really good revenue stream, there's no reason for them to put more people on it and to make the game any better than it already is. If it's chugging along and still making a good amount of money in the state that it is, then why put more resources into it, right? If it's good enough. So I do worry about that, and I kind of got that impression from the detailed earnings call.
Okay. Sounds awesome. No, I don't listen to them regularly or ever. I mean, I have to sit on budget calls, but they're not public-facing ones or like investor-facing ones.
There's a lot more information that you can glean out of like out of one of these earnings calls than you can like a public town hall. Like you might have a town hall with like the whole company, and your CEO is gonna blow all kinds of, puppy dog and rainbows up your ass about how the company's doing, and then everybody's shocked when a big layoff happens or a big furlough happens, right? But on the earnings call, like the people that are out there, the people from the investment firms that are, it's their job to be able to predict what companies are doing, and they start asking some pointed questions, you can kind of get a sense of, what's coming down the road based off the questions as they get asked versus the answers that keep being given, right? Because those investors, like, even though they're not these firms, there'll be a lot of firms on those calls, and one will ask a question. Typically, they'll have a chance. They'll be allowed to ask one question and give one follow-up, right? But they turn into like a pack of wolves because one will ask something that another one will pick up on, and that next group will then ask a related thing, trying to dig into it more. Anyway, there's a lot of information you can get there, and especially negative information, because that's what everybody is interested in on those calls. But not good that they're dropping the valuation, that they're taking this loss on their books. It's not good. Not that Destiny's going in. A lot of people online said, "That's it, final nail in the coffin. Destiny dead. Stop playing game, idiots." But that's not the case. It just makes me worried that Destiny's not really due to get any more funding anytime soon, unless something drastic happens with the player population.
Yeah, that's fair, but I never thought that anyway. So hopefully Renegades is just awesome and everyone comes back. Easy peasy. I don't think it will be, though. I think it'll be good. Like, I don't know. They definitely are not over-delivering, probably, though. Anyway, so since the Dungeon Pirate was on the This Week at Shadow, we may as well make our way down the list here. This Week at Shadow, sorry. This Week in Destiny. Apologies.
All right.
The next thing on the list is they introduced Vanguard Alerts, which is basically stuff they want you to focus on in the week. I guess it's just a new tab in your portal that has like these are the special things to do this week, right?
This reads as if it is a reinvention or reintroduction of weekly GMs and weekly raid.
Yeah, okay. The screenshot that is showing us, though, the Sunless Cell, the Desert Perpetual, like the Grandmaster Sunless Cell, the Desert Perpetual raid. This will be fun and interesting when they add new raids and new dungeons to it, to the portal. It did say the new dungeon would be in here, but when they add old ones is what I'm trying to say, if they ever do. There's been no mention of it, so we may not hear anything until we get the official roadmap. Dungeon and raid, it says we've included dungeons and raids in a Vanguard alert to get easier access to those activities. The Renegades dungeon and Desert Perpetual raid have weekly challenges that grant rewards from the correspondent reward pool. I am tired of getting these chronologs, though. Like,
because you have everything in the old passwords?
Yes. Can you guys give me something better, please? Other than chronologs? I'm just seeing it here on the screenshot. I'm like, I don't need chronologs. I played your game. Okay, I got all the rewards.
They're not there for you, homie.
Then give me something else.
You're getting drops besides the.
I know, but when it should recognize that there's nothing I can buy with a chronolog, and it should say, let's give this guy something better. He's been super supportive of the game since Shadowkeep. Let's give him something better.
They're giving you something right now. It's called Call to Arms.
Oh my god, fuck off. I just ween when there's a weekly activity that has chronolog, the game should recognize that I don't need any and give me something else.
Yeah, you can probably trade them into Rahul at some point for like Glimmer or some shit. It'd be fine.
You can trade them in at the fucking thing for materials. I don't need I don't want materials. I want the coolest gun in the history of the world.
Not for chronologs. Sorry. Get fucked. Best I can do it is enhancement core.
I want at least a shard. An ascendant shard, that is. All right, anyway, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so Vanguard Alerts give you 50 chronologs, but the Arena and the Crucibles give you 50 Bright Dust. Why can't I get 50 Bright Dust for the Vanguard Alert?
What are you going to do with 50 Bright Dust? That's arguably worth less than 50 chronologs that you can turn into some kind of masterwork material. What in the store, what in the Eververse store can you purchase for 50 Bright Dust ever? The answer is nothing.
Okay. There's stuff I don't buy in the Eververse store that's Bright Dust all the time because I don't want to spend what Bright Dust I have. So if I had more Bright Dust, I'd be willing to buy more stuff. I never buy any of that stuff. It's not 50 one time, Rect. It's 50 a bunch of times. You know what happens when you multiply 50 by 100?
Read it.
You have 5,000.
Read it. Additionally, once per week, you can earn these following bonus awards. It is 50 one time. It's 51 time for Arena and
once
51
a week? There's 52 weeks in a year, Rect.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
You know how much that equals? I can't do the math. But it's 50 plus 50 times 52 is 5,200. That's how much Bright Dust you can get there.
That's not even enough to buy a set at one of the events where sets are available for Bright
It's
Dust.
enough to get one of those 3250 emotes that I never buy because they're too expensive. Oh, anyway, plus the 50 were in place of the chronologs. You could potentially get 7,800 Bright Dust from these activities if you do them weekly for a year. That's 2 emotes.
You're not going to do them weekly for a year. Shut up.
You don't know what I'm going to do.
Yes, I do.
I might love Renegades and play the fucking game every day.
And in a whole year, Greener's going to earn approximately 150 Bright Dust from these activities.
Probably. All right, anyway, whatever. I don't want chronologs, all right? Stop giving me chronologs. Literally, I've just got unlimited chronologs. Nothing to do with them.
You have things to do with them. We've covered this. You just don't like your options.
Okay, well, I don't like my options. Make me happier. Okay, anyway, move on. What's next for the Vanguard Alerts? They do mention what legacy activities would you like to see included in the Vanguard Alerts. So they're considering dropping, the legacy things in there. I'm hoping that they're considering raids and dungeons. People want to see that stuff in the portal. They want to see that stuff in the portal, even if it doesn't include tiered versions of the original weapons. Now they would prefer that, but if that takes longer to get done, put them in the portal with the existing pool, and then slowly add the old pool back. That's tiered. Do something. I don't know. Or wait until your player base is completely gone and then add them. That seems like the smart idea. Right?
Mm.
I don't know. Instead of not having any dungeons or raids in the portal, would you be happier if you had dungeons and raids in the portal, even if it had the portal loot pool?
All right. First, I'm gonna just address chat. Reaper says to Mr. Rect, you should amend the no pulling rule for in-game bingo. The answer officially to that is no. Everybody has to do the traversal sections. I'm sorry. All right. I'm sorry that some of you are speed demons who fucking well skate and sparrow fly across that stuff, and you do a traversal section that should take 3 minutes in like 10 seconds, but you're gonna have to wait for the guy who just 3-orbed. All right. I'm sorry. It's just gonna have to happen that way. So there you go. You should just make it fun by making fun of them in VC for being slow, unless they're going to get offended by that kind of thing, in which case you probably shouldn't do that. It's not very nice. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. You know what I want in Vanguard Alerts? Some new fucking content.
Okay. Not old content. Got it. They're asking about legacy activities here, which is funny, though.
I mean, what I would like them to avoid is putting in the most dogshit legacy content that they have. Like, for instance, the expeditions this week that are showing up that are now in the portal, where you're doing the old Season of the Plunder stuff. Those were not good activities. They're still not good activities when you do them now. Like, let's take we're on an ad break. Let's take all of the worst content, the content that's had the most complaints about it over time, and let's not recycle them unless you're going to actually rework them into something that's going to be fun, which they're not. They're not. Best they're going to be able to do with that.
You said plunder, but I liked the catch activity.
That's not the catch. It's not catch crash. It's the one where you're throwing the engrams at the treasure cart and then following the treasure cart.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember that one.
Yes, it's a terrible activity. The best they can do on making these activities more interesting is, now we've got Banes and extra champions. Great, it's perfect. You just took a dog shit activity and you made it. And power deltas. So you just took a dog shit activity and made it more dog shit. So, if you're going to put in these activities, at least refresh them in some way to make them a little bit more, I don't know, more than what they are. If you want to bring back some of the old activities that were actually good, then fine. But I understand that's a subjective thing, right? It's not.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody at Bungie thought the Season of the Plunder expeditions were great and that everybody would love them because they're such a fun activity. Well, that person needs to be replaced. Anyway, that's what I think about that. I do worry that Destiny is just going to be a big old content grinder for the rest of its life, but hopefully that's not the case.
All right.
Now that I think about it, realistically, every game of service is pretty much a old content grinder anyway, isn't it? Isn't that really kind of the model? Honestly, can you think of any game of service that's not?
No. You're absolutely right. And I remember back in the day, actually, this is going to be ironic because you said that. When I played Destiny originally, the very first Destiny, and then I did the... people famously know that I beat the campaign in the original Destiny. I played Vault of Glass. I had a good time, and then I pretty much quit the game from there.
Right, because you're like, what do I do now? I did everything.
It's not so much what do I do now. It's like, let's check out what we do now. Oh, the same shit over and over again? No thanks. And I shut the game off. And deleted it. I stayed with the Division longer, but in reality, it's all the same thing. The only reason I stay with the Division is because as you guys know, I'm a fan of extraction shooters. There's an extraction shooter mode in the Division. It was a lot of fun. It was a PvE, PvP mode. If you don't know, it's called the Dark Zone. It was really good. It was even better on the second one. But the PvE version is you literally just do the same quests over and over again at a harder difficulty. Um, and even if you play MMOs enough, like if you play MMO, World of Warcraft, you play Final Fantasy 14, like it takes less time to get to the playing the same content over and over again, and there is a lot more of said content to play over and over again, so you don't necessarily get as bored. But at the end of the day, once you get to the end of the storyline and the raid that's in one of those missions, the concept is, to do the same activity over and over again, usually at a harder difficulty. Sometimes you just have to do the same activity over and over again at the same difficulty because there's nothing else to do.
I don't have a problem with that idea specifically. Like in any given season, you're going to run back the same activity, X number of times to farm your loot, right? Which is fine. I don't have a problem with that loop, even if the activity that season is not fun. It's not terribly entertaining. It's when we get to a situation like now where the new content we get is somewhat fleeting, like the Ash and Iron content that was here for a week in its original form and then gone. And now what is the gameplay loop? Literally rehashing oldest, ancient, week 1 of Destiny 2 content over and over and over again. That's where my problem really is with the game now. The fact that they're reintroducing really old content as new content without making any changes to it at all. That's where they kind of double down on that whole grind loop that is kind of losing me a little bit, if I'm being completely honest. Anyway.
Oh no. What would we do if Rex stopped playing Destiny? I'd just give up on life at that point, I think. It'd be over for all of us.
It'd be easy. I would be like, hey, Greener, I'm done playing Destiny. Since I'm done playing Destiny, there's not a whole ton of reason for me to stick around the Destiny community. So I'm going to go ahead and step down. Share this news with all the people that don't like me so they can cheer. Peace. And then I'd leave. And that would be that.
I don't know anyone who doesn't like you.
I have lots of friends. I've got lots of people that don't like me. But that's okay. I don't expect everybody to like me.
That's good.
You know what, Pale? You shouldn't. Because I probably wouldn't. Valk, you and I'd still be in contact. Don't worry. You're on my side server. You're the only person on my side server from this community. So, anyway.
I'm offended.
Shall we move on? My side server doesn't actually have anything in it. The only stuff that gets posted in my side server are literally announcements that I'm going to post on the SGC server just so I can make sure they look right when I post them. That's literally it. There's zero conversation that happens over there. It's a spot for me to put emojis and soundboard clips that aren't on the Shrouded server. That's it. Gotcha. You want to be on my side server, Greener? I'll invite you.
I don't want to be on it. Don't invite me because I'll just decline it.
I'm going to invite him right now. I'm going to make him deny me live on the air. Invite people. A Greener.
How can I block Rect real quick so he can't even invite me?
Too late. It's already sent. There you go. Son of a bitch.
Wait, how do I make it go away? I can't. I can't even hit deny. There's just a big green join button. That's bullshit. I don't like it.
Shall we get into Call to Arms? They're talking about the updates here, but can I bitch about Call to Arms for a minute?
Yeah, go ahead. We're at Call to Arms. That's fine. You can bitch about it, and then we'll talk about how they tried to help a little bit, but not a crazy amount.
All right. So let me ask you, when you originally heard about Call to Arms and Bungie's pitch for Call to Arms, what did you think it was going to be?
I don't know, similar to like Guardian games, where you ran, Nightfalls and try to get the top score, and
Yeah.
then
Did
if you got
you
top score, you get special rewards.
did you think that you were going to be locked out of participating for any of the FOMO stuff? Because you hadn't logged enough hours in the game yet?
Well, no, obviously not.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what they did.
Yeah, they
At
did.
right now, as of right now, because the changes that they're talking about haven't gone live yet.
Yeah.
Your score for Call to Arms and the score that you are, quote, competing against everybody else with. Devolito says the audio's screwed up.
What does that mean?
Devolito, what do you mean by the audio is screwed up? All right. Cybrid says it sounds fine. All right. Oh, not much of a rect is coming through. Cybrid's hearing me.
I mean, you're on red line on my VU meter, so.
Okay. All right. Anyway. The activity is there's 5 different activities. You have to score 1%. You have to score within the top 1% on one of them to get the big emblem at the end, the big FOMO emblem at the end. And you have to score in the top 10% in 2 of them in order to get the helmet ornament. The big ass, giant ass, ugly helmet ornament that I'm going to think is really fucking funny if it also makes your head hitbox bigger. So you're taking critical damage more often. Surely not. But never discount the possibility of some weird shit like that happening in this game. Anyway, the problem with those scores is the quote competition takes into account your reward modifier when you're doing portal activities. Your reward modifier is governed by your maximum account power level. So the higher your maximum account power level, the higher your reward modifier is off the rip, but also by the amount of modifications you can put on to increase the difficulty. At ultimate difficulty, you have far more options to push the reward modifier higher than you do at lower difficulties. And if you're not high enough power to be able to do the ultimate difficulty stuff, if you're so low power that even if you were to get pulled into it, you'd be doing 0 damage to everything. That means that you can't compete, even if you are a quantifiably better Destiny player than some random blueberry. That random blueberry, because he sat in his mom's basement with his Cheeto bestewed fingers, all right, and put in so many hours that he got 550 just as the 550 participation prize for playing the game enough, is automatically going to get higher than you, even if you both perform exactly the same. So, I think I've gone on record as saying I don't have a problem with people putting in the time having things that are really just for them, tier 5s in particular. I don't have a problem with them getting tier 5s all the time, but putting out an event that is, quote, competitive and then kneecapping everybody who's under 470 power seems insane to me. Like, I don't know who planned this and thought it was a good idea, or who reviewed it and thought, yeah, this is going to fly just fine, because surely the majority of our player base is 470 power or higher, right? Surely the majority is above that level and can actually compete. But even at 470, you can't really compete, because there's a vast difference between the reward modifier at 470 and 550. So I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking when they launched it, but it's some bullshit. And to all those people that are, I don't know if it's rage baiting or actual, like, their actual opinion, saying that Bungie is, so Bungie's going to be changing this. We'll talk about that in a minute. But whoever is out there saying they're fucking capitulating to the casuals again, you guys are some fucking gatekeeping losers. Like, actually go outside and touch some fucking grass. Because they're selling this thing as a competition, right? And let me tell you, just because you're 550 does not mean you're good at the game. I know a lot of people who are 550 who are fucking dog shit at the game and who got carried to 550 by actual good players. I know some of those good players, and I know some of those dog shit players as well. So, I'm sorry. It's just how it is. If you're going to make it a competition, then make it a competition. Don't make the competition another participation trophy.
Yeah, I agree. Even with the changes anyway, like, if you consider, you know, right now, if you're 550 and you do the exact same thing at 500, you get less points at 500. They're changing it so those scores are calculated exactly the same, which gives the people that can get into Ultimatum, which is 470, an opportunity to try to compete for that 1%. That's still going to be difficult. But at least the opportunity is there now. And the 500s can do it, and the 530s or whatever. You know, it's all the same. You don't have to. But like the way they launched it, like they're fixing it a little bit. But the way they launched it was basically, unless you're 550, you're fucked. And that was crazy.
I mean, it's a good. These are good activities for actually like getting some of the loot. Like if you missed out on any of these items, the focusing works great. I don't know if any. I've heard some people. I've read some stuff online about people saying their focusing isn't working, but I've played a bunch of the Call to Arms activities now, and my focusing. If I focus a gun, my focus rate on my drops is 100% so far. I have not gotten a weapon that wasn't the weapon I focused, and the shinies, they drop like crazy. Like from the coil, I got 3 of them running in the coil the other day.
See, that's too much though.
We'll ignore the fact that my shinies are coming through as tier 6s, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean. But they're dropping, and the stuff that's dropping is exactly what I expect to drop. So there's some good stuff going on here if you like these weapons. Like, it is worthwhile to run this stuff, or even if you're just going to power grind, right? You can focus the weapon you want for the slot that you need your drop in, so you can kind of help push yourself towards the next level of power, the next upgrade. But the Call Arms activities are giving you an extra drop on top of the completion reward, on top of whatever bonus drops you already have. So it is a worthwhile activity to run if you haven't hit the power cap to compete yet. If you haven't hit at least 470 or 500, because it's going to increase the speed at which you get there. So it's definitely worthwhile to run in terms of the loot chase. The coil in particular has been great because you get multiple drops every single time you open a chest. I think it's awesome. I just wish they would have decoupled the competition part, like the scoring part, from your power level. Like, all of them should have had... They should all have the same power delta, or they should all inflict the same power delta on you. And they should all power level, it should all just be one set of modifiers that you use, no matter your power level going in. But that's what it should be. That way everybody can participate, and the people that are actually good can filter to the top. Or, the people that can deal with all of that stuff can actually filter themselves to the top, which isn't the case right now.
Yeah.
There are some other problems. There are some people that are in public, on Twitter, on Reddit, running cheated runs to maximize their score as much as possible. Like somebody who ran a salt mine and did the salt mine in actually 3 seconds. Well, when you have pressure cooker on, the faster you get that thing done, the more score you get. So they're inflating the score, and if enough people do that, it pushes the score for everybody to get into that 1%. But Bungie's going to try to hedge against this. What I have heard, and I haven't actually seen Bungie say this, I read a couple of people making comments that Bungie had said this. Supposedly, there's going to be a lockout just before the event ends, where the scores will be locked to whatever they are at the time, and then all you need to do is get in to whatever that threshold is. Then at that point, and you should be good if you're trying to get the FOMO stuff. But anyway, I just think it's a weird way to do the competition. I don't think it was well thought out at all. All right, I'm done talking. Sorry. Shut the fuck up.
Anyway, no, I agree with you. Yeah, it would have been nice to be able to participate. Like, I thought that helmet was pretty cool when it came out. I was like, I want it, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to access that unless I'm able to buckle down this weekend and get a bunch of power levels. I'm pretty much SOL.
I have a feeling that if you looked at your portal for your solo and your fire team ops, you probably got 3 bonus Ingrams on everything.
I was in there today. I mean, yeah, but that's a lot. That's a lot of levels.
If you're able to clear just those 2 categories of your +3s, you'll probably go up 40 or 50 points just off those. But that's a lot of
crazy
gaming. I mean, listen, when I started this stuff on Tuesday, I was 520. I was at 523. I'm at 443 today, and all I did was clear my solos, and I cleared half
backwards.
my fire team. I cleared half, or 543, and cleared half my fire team off last night. So I went up 20 levels in, 2 nights.
Well, la-ti-da. All right, let's move on. And we talked about this enough. Call to Arms, interesting idea. Could have been executed better and maybe included a few more people. But maybe there's more people that high than we think there is. I mean, they have the stats for it. Maybe all us 370s are in the minority. Or a bunch of losers. But DMG did kind of talk about that today. People are talking in his Twitter comments to be like, you still locked out a bunch of the community. And he said he still wanted the integrity of the grind to exist, which is why they made the change that they did without making it available for... he said something like that. What was the exact word? See if it's here. Okay,
500
he just wrote, yeah.
Of qualifying for a handful of cosmetic rewards if you wish to participate in the competitive portion of the event. So.
Yeah, and then he pointed out that there's a bunch of daily rewards for the rest of the people, and they wanted to maintain the competitive element of Call to Arms, but they're still monitoring feedback, so still might make another change. Who knows? I'll take another one. I'll take another one that allow anybody at above 10 power score the same.
I mean, the TLDR event good for loot if you're after loot, rain loot on you. Event not so great for competition, depending on your power level. Well,
W. All right. Bungie bounty for good returns. If you want that cool ass red and blue emblem. It'll be available again on. When are they gonna ask me? When are they gonna ask me to play for this? Anyway, the 17th. That's this weekend, isn't it? Or Monday? What's 17? Monday. Next Monday.
Monday.
In case you don't know what emblem I'm talking about, let me bring it up real quick, just for a second, to show you. It's a pretty cool emblem, but you have to hopefully just get into a fire team. Or not a fire team, but into a Crucible match against the Bungie team. Where is the projector mode? I found it. We Gucci chat. All right. Here you go. Anybody that's watching the video version of this. Ta-da! That's it. Yeah, get into a fire team with Not a fire team. Why do I keep saying that? The concept of it is you need to go up against the team that's playing over at Bungie, against them in a Crucible match and beat them.
Or be on their team and help them win.
Is that a thing? Oh, okay. That's probably yeah. Either way, it's probably easier to beat them. Some of the KDs I've seen recently. I do like that emblem, but I never have time to sit down in the middle of the day because I always do it in the middle of the day. See, 12 p.m. Pacific. Actually, that's not bad. That's 4 o'clock my time. I probably still won't do it. Anyway, all right. No issues list. Don't care. No cap pictures. Lame. All right. I mean, we could do this dev insights thing.
We don't need to read all of it. We should probably not read the specific stuff. There's a couple of things that are, I think, important on here.
Okay.
So
go ahead. What do you think is important?
They're going to update the priority of buffs that show up in the left-hand side of your screen, so that buffs that are considered more important to the community are the ones that stay there and don't get pushed off. So that's going to be good. The new gear bonus from the artifacts is no longer going to scale with gear tier. It's just going to be new gear weapons get a 5% damage bonus, and damage reduction for new gear armor is 10% flat. So it's 2% per piece. Your tiers, the tier of your weapons no longer matter, or your tier of your armor no longer matters. There's not going to be any featured exotic sections and collections because all exotics are going to be featured. Yep. Are going to be, coming up. So that's good. They're changing how frozen targets take damage from weapons based off their ammo type if they're frozen. So there's there. They explain how disorient is going to work. So there's a bunch of different weapons that do disorienting effects. Mm-hmm. They're turning disorient into a keyword, so it's going to be predictable no matter how you're inflicting it now. And they give you all the particular options that cause a disorient. They do call out Helm of Saint 14 and Touch of Malice. Their disorients are going to function a little bit differently. For ammo system, the main thing that's important here is that they're bringing ammo scout mods to your helmet, so you can start generating bricks for your teammates again. So there's going to be ammo all over the place. Other than that, the rest of this is pretty much doesn't matter. And then we get into all like weapon archetype changes.
Yeah.
What you need to know is that almost everything in here is a buff. There are a couple of like specific notable nerfs to some specific weapons, but pretty much everything's getting a buff. Rocket pulse rifles are getting a minor nerf because their reserves are getting reduced by 4 shots, but who cares, because there's going to be ammo all over the place now that there's scout mods. And then there's all of the exotic perks. All of these exotic weapon modifications in the sandbox, they're all pretty much good, with the exception of Chaperone. Chaperone is having a fucking DEFCON 5 nuclear strike nerf dropped on it for PvP. But other than that, everything here is good. There's going to be a lot of weapons that are going to be actually more fun to use. Like, when's the last time you whipped out Symmetry?
I can't even remember if I've ever used that gun.
So
I'm going to be busting out my still hunt again now. 40%. Let's go.
Yeah. Rangefinder's adding range again. So all your old PvP guns that have rangefinder, they've got more range again.
There's a lot of shit.
Rampage isn't going to all go away when your buff timer expires. It's going to give stacks and it's going to count back down. But
That's a nice one.
Bray Legacy is getting nerfed. So, if you've been using the Strand Rocket with Bray Legacy, I forget its name now off the top of my head, the World Drop one. Because Bray Legacy gives you power off, gives you ability energy off the cluster bombs. That's not going to function anymore. You only get the energy off the initial hit. It won't. All the little submunitions won't generate their own additional energy. So there you go. That's pretty much everything we need to. I think we should talk about.
Okay.
The rest of this is whatever.
Just weapon adjustments based on the last 6 months.
Yeah. All good stuff, pretty much. So you should go out there and see if your favorite exotic is on the list of things getting changes, probably because most likely it's getting buffed. So
you get a buff. You get a buff. You get a buff. Except for the one guy that got a nerf. R.I.P. that guy. Yep. R.I.P. dude. Well, damn. All right. Well, I guess that moves us right into the Renegades post that was made today. Which is a content calendar plus some extra stuff. Okay, let's just read this content calendar.
Why don't you go right into the one that you're most excited about?
No. Hold on. All right, we're going to pop it right up on the screen. For anyone who's watching, you can see it. It's beautiful. Renegades launch data. I don't know. It's some shit. All right, let's look at it. Okay, so on December 2nd, 9.5.0 is launching. Why do we go from 9.1.5 to 9.5.0? Why not 9.2?
That's a good question.
All right, anyway, Renegades campaign, Lawless Frontier activity, exotic mission, new dungeon, Equilibrium, new weapon, blasters, new exotic, the Praxic Blade, all stuff we knew. Actually, I don't know if we knew about the exotic mission coming with launch, but that's cool. Seasonal power carries over. Oh, yeah, baby. All exotic weapons and armor featured. Oh, yeah. The Edge of Fate featured gear continues. Oh, yeah. A vault space increase plus 300, chat. 300! It's so big. That's what she said. That's so exciting for me. I was saying to Recta before we went live, I'm super excited for 300, but I'll still fill it in a week and a half. Because it doesn't matter how... It doesn't matter how much space I have, I will always fill it up in no time because I just stop deleting things. I put everything I get into my vault. And then I have to go over it all. It's really annoying. Okay, so vault space increased to plus 300. Vault space sorting improvements. I want to talk about that later when we get to it because it still doesn't look like there's a fucking search menu. Why can't you just add a fucking search menu? Like in DIM. It's the easiest... whatever. Anyway. We'll see. All right. Universal exotic ornaments. It looked interesting. We're going to check that out. Returning player bonus and rewards. Yeah, we talked about that a few weeks ago. It's dumb. No, it's not dumb. But I want stuff too, damn it. All right. 300 power catch-up. Well, I'm already above that, so I don't care. You might, though. Portal activity. So we're getting a new solo op, Typhoon Imperator, Fire Team op, Return of Sunless Cell. It's an old one. Boo. It's crazy that that's not in the portal since it was brand new last, like the season before Edge of Fate. That's just crazy. Basically can come back not to be used again. Introducing Arena Ops, 6-player activities. Nice. That's what you're talking about. And they'd probably bring back all the shitty ones that we hated, right?
Hopefully not, but...
Absolutely. Wait, they should bring back Menagerie. Menagerie. However it's pronounced. Let's go. Yeah, that was mainly good because of the loot. Alright, just keep making the loot good, too. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I would still like it. Alright, Pinnacle Ops, Return of Vox Obscura, and Derealize, and more! Portal rewards and cosmetic refresh. So Solo Fireteam Arena Ops, Crucible Ops, Pinnacle Ops, Trials of Osiris. It's all weapons and armor. Order system, which we saw a few weeks ago. The common, legendary, and exotic. And then 9.5.0.1. I don't know when this comes out. There's no numbers on it, but it says weekly rituals. When is it? Is it week 1? I don't know. Just 2 different ones at the same time. Anyway, weekly rituals, the Vanguard Alerts come out. We talked about that earlier. The playlist, the Grandmaster Vanguard Alert, the Crucible, the Arena Ops. And then continued weekly modifiers and events. Sword Week returns, Foundry Weapons Sponsorship, Tex Mechana, The Dawning, Arms Week Bows, Iron Banner, Heavy Metal, Mid-Season Call to Arms, and Surge's Reward Boosts, and more. All right. There you go. There you have their roadmap, and now we'll talk a little bit about the stuff that they're adding. First off, yes, okay. Now we get a vault capacity 300, and then they're changing some of the filter options on the vault, which still, like, I guess this is good. It looks like you can filter. Yeah, it's not good. I don't get it. Why isn't there just a search bar? It pisses me off. All right, so you can search for tier, which is good. That's an interesting change. I'll give it that. Weapon and armor is irrelevant. I mean, it's nice. You don't have to scroll over to the armor anymore, but they were never intermingled before. It was always weapon and then armor. Search by power level, rarity, tier, all that stuff's good, but still, I never understand the fact that they can't add a fucking search bar in there. Why can't they add a search bar?
I imagine they don't add a search bar because of how much of the player base is still on console, where most players do not plug a mouse and keyboard into their console to do things like chat. Like I do when I play my PlayStation, I have a wireless keyboard that I plug into my PlayStation. And if I need to use text chat, I don't like hunt and peck with my controller because I'm not. Listen, I'm gonna apologize now, but I'm not a console pleb in that way. All right, I play on console, but I'm a PC player. I'm a PC gamer for most of my gaming, and I use a mouse and keyboard for that. So typing equals no. Fuck you.
If you play a first-person shooter on a console, you're a pleb.
That's where I started. That's why I'm still there.
That's where I started. Guess where I am?
I'm playing Battlefield on mouse and keyboard on my PC. So
let's go, chat. We've almost convinced them to fully move over.
Nah, not happening. Destiny stays on the console.
Nah, don't worry. There's PC gamers that will call me a pleb too because I only play multiplayer games on PC. Like, I am a single-player console nerd until the day I die. But all my multiplayer games are on PC. Yeah, 100%. Because I don't know why. I guess.
Anyway, better. I suspect that's the reason why there's not a, like, let me just type in what I'm looking for.
Okay, but they do know that they have a PC player base, right? You can add something to the game that doesn't have a use for some of the players.
Why are they going to add something where to the part of the player base that's like less than 20% of their total?
Because it would take like a week of coding from one fucking junior developer.
Yeah, you got to pay that. They got to pay that developer for the time, and the return on investment just isn't there. Come on, we've been over this a million times.
I guarantee the whole player base would come back if they added a search menu to the vault.
Yeah. Yes, that's what it's missing. That's the secret sauce. Yeah. Sure.
Bro, it's so annoying to have dim open and do it. It's like, just let me do it in game. Tired of using dim.
How can you be tired of using dim? It's so superior to anything that exists in the game.
Only because I can search for the names of things. Fuck. Why don't they just hire the dim guy to make it? It'd take him like 10 minutes.
Again.
It's just money. They make hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Like, you can afford to pay somebody like fucking 20 grand to come up with some shit.
Apparently the bean counters in charge disagree with that assumption.
Fuck the bean counters. Fuck capitalism. Fuck everyone.
You heard it here first, folks. Greener wants communist gaming.
That's not what I said. I just hate the concept of always needing to make more money. You can never just make the same amount of money. Like, God forbid somebody makes the same amount of money one year. Holy shit, Chad. It's the end of the fucking world if you make the same amount of money. Fuck, you can even make more money than you made the last year. But if you estimated you were going to make even more money, well, you done fucked up, Chad. Because you fucked over, I don't know, some fucking trillionaire is mad that he only made $1.3 billion off your game instead of $1.4 billion that he was expecting. Like, what's he gonna do with that fucking 100 million or 10 million? I don't know. I don't do math. But Jesus, damn, fuck, it just pisses me off, and it's in every part of the world. Yeah, there's a Far Cry 7 leak that says it has an extraction mode. People are obsessed with that shit. Sorry, I just opened my phone and it was the first thing that came up. Good luck. Watch it be better than Marathon. It's just like a tacked on fucking extra multiplayer mode. No, Marathon was pretty good. What did I find out the other day? Oh, that they had said, last week, if anybody watched the podcast last week or was here, we were dancing around the fact that people were bitching and moaning on Twitter, or that Marathon didn't have VoIP. And I was dancing around the fact. They announced that they would be adding it, so I figure I'm good to say that. It was in the game, and it's there. I know we made that painfully obvious without saying it, but just wanted to point it out. For anybody who cared. Which was nobody. Which is absolutely zero people. I'm tired. I'm tired of all the angry people. Okay. I forgot what I was even talking about. What were we talking about? The vault space? Alright, yeah.
The lack of a search bar you can type into.
Yeah.
In the vault space, in the vault upgrade coming.
Thanks for the 300 spots, suckers. I'm going to move on to the Universal Exotic Ornaments. All right, this
probably
was
the best thing in here.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, eh? So for any of you who don't know, they're opening up the fashion game, is what they're calling it. Players may now apply any owned exotic ornament of the same class and slot to their exotic armors and PvE activities. So, note, armors will continue to show their basic aesthetic in PvP activities to avoid confusion in combat. That's dumb, but whatever. Nobody looks in-game to see what they're wearing. They look at the character, they inspect the character in the screen. But whatever, it's not. I get it. I understand. Okay, so big news anyway. You could now basically, if you don't understand what that means, is if you put on an exotic arm, you have access to any arm exotic ornament to put on said arm.
If you want to put on your Aeons and you want to make them look like young Ahamkara's spine, you will be able to do that. That's what it
You
means.
can do it. You can do it. Now, I've always said, Bungie, please, for the love of shit, let me put legendary ornaments on my exotics. Now, this isn't quite that, but it is better. I still don't get why they can't just add the legendary version of this. Like, if
Well, it's easy.
no, but if I buy a skin
Yeah.
off Eververse, I want
Yeah.
to be able to wear the entire fucking thing. But I don't want my gameplay to suffer because I can't wear an exotic. It's dumb.
If they allowed you to put whatever legendary ornaments you wanted on your exotics, then they would never sell the exotic ornaments. This is a way for them to sell more exotic ornaments. That's what this is, specifically.
Brilliant. But, yeah, I don't know, I guess. Then just make awesome legendary ones and sell them. Who gives a fuck?
I mean,
All right. Anyway,
I
get
agree.
it. I get it. I get it. This
but
is
that's
cool
why.
though. I do like this. I like this. I can't wait to put on. Let me tell you, chat. The fucking class item for hunters is god awful.
What are you going to replace it with?
That's what I was gonna say. But well, that was my point I was getting to. I'm still not gonna be able to replace it with anything
That's correct.
because there is nothing else to replace it with.
There are the other class item ornaments for it. It has a couple of ornaments that change how it looks.
Yeah, they all suck.
I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that.
I'm wearing one of them that's not as bad, but I don't like it. I'd rather have something else. What ornament is this? I use the philosophic filigree.
Is it the Egyptian one or is it the spiky one?
It's the other one. It's not the Egyptian one.
Okay.
Identity Weft is the Egyptian one. This is the one where the almost the whole back of the cape is transparent.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one I use. I don't like the Egyptian one. It's too bulky. I don't like bulk. I'm a nimble hunter, man. I don't need all this fucking shit on me. Like, looks dumb. Okay. Anyway, I guess that won't help at all.
Not with that.
That's the one I wear the most.
Well, play more monoclass instead of prismatic all the time. Easy.
No. And it's ironic. The only time I don't run that shit is in PvP because I run Arc. And it doesn't show like it wouldn't matter. Fuck. Because the ornaments don't change in PvP.
I apologize if I start making squeaky noises. My wife just got home and the dogs are excited, so they're killing their toys.
Okay. It's always funny to hear a squeak noise and then see your mouth go.
Yeah. Well, listen, sometimes I sound like a squeaky toy. What can I say? I have a varied diet. I did not give the dogs their drugs, no.
She's probably like, you lazy fuck.
Do I want some drugs? Yes.
Okay. So next on this list is they talk about their Dev Insight thing. They talk about the Vanguard Alerts and the This Week in Destiny. Then they show them off again. And then they talk about the Vanguard Orders, which we've already got information on, I think. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just that's the new weekly system. We had the current one for one whole season. It blows my mind when they do when they create a whole interface of stuff and then they change it the next season.
Well,
it's wild.
I mean, at least in this case, it's a recognition that people are not happy with how the portal is actually working right now. So it's good to see them being responsive to those complaints, even if I don't necessarily like their their answer to the problems. It's still nice to see the problems. There at least being some effort to addressing the issues.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so I mean, we've talked about this before. It's a brand new interface. It does look a little better. I like that you can see more of the reward track, the stuff on the side, very easily to see what you need to do.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we'll see. We'll see. That's something I need to get my hands on to see if it's any better. This is funny, Arena Ops, because I mentioned Catch Crash earlier, but Catch Crash Astral Alignment. Oh, that was from Wish, right?
Yeah.
Did that suck? Is that the?
No, it was all right.
Was it the 6-man one where you? Obviously,
Is the one where you went through the Ascendant Realm to get up to the ship, where there were all the jumping sections, where you were in the Ascendant Realm.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think I do. I think I know what this activity is, but
there are the little power-ups everywhere.
Was there is there a point in the Dreaming City when you're on a cliff and you need to it's like a banner almost? Does that make sense? Was it a banner? I can't remember. You had to activate a thing and then you jumped down and you fought a bunch of people. I can't remember if that was a 6-man activity or not. That might be it. I can't recall. Anyway, Nightmare Containment. Oh, from Season of the Haunted.
Oh, you know what? That is Astral Alignment. Yep, you're right. That's it. I was thinking of the other activity, but I believe you're right. I believe that's Astral Alignment, yeah.
You didn't say anything, so I thought I was fucking stupid.
No, I think you're right.
Okay, all right.
It took me a moment to remember the activity, but
I just couldn't remember if that was the 6-man or the 3-man that season. But yeah, you're doing things, and then you're killing shit, and then you're jumping up on the cliff, and there's always things you have to go get or activate that are far away. Something like that. Yeah. All right. And there's mini bosses every 3 rounds or so. Or there's 3 things you need to align. Something like that. Yeah. All right. Anyway, Nightmare Containment, which was like the public zone event in Haunted, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. You know what? I'm okay with doing these a few times. I'm not going to play them a lot, but I kind of miss them now that they're gone. I fucking hated them when they were there. Actually, I didn't mind Nightmare Containment, and Catch Crash was fun. I don't really remember Astral Alignment, but... Well, I mean, obviously I do. I just explained it a little bit, but I don't remember if I had fun or it was boring. I think that's cool. Bring back some of that stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was dumb that they had to get rid of all these activities that they worked hard on. I'm not saying that they're fun and need to be in the game, but I think it's an interesting concept to bring them back now that you have a space for them. That makes sense. And it gives people variety. Just make sure their rewards are good enough. You know, people would play any activity in the game if the fucking treasure chest just exploded with loot.
And it had new loot that was, the most recent loot or revisited versions of the loot that it had in the first place.
Yeah.
People would complain about just recycling stuff, but they'd still grind for it if it had new perks.
Yep, absolutely. That's all I need to do. Just don't make me do Nightmare Containment and then give me 1 gun. You know? Give me like 3 guns and a piece of armor and a Senna shard. Or with the little pointy golden ones. Prism. Enhancement prism.
Best I can do is 1 drop and 50 chronologs.
Jesus Christ. All right. Well, we talked about this a little bit of stuff, but here's some actual dates. The Dawning is in December, based on player feedback. It's returning for 3 weeks. Arms Week's in January. Guardian Games is in March. Call to Arms, April. Iron Banner TBD and Heavy Metal TBD. Like, we're not getting another Iron Banner before Renegades, are we? Oh, wait, we are. Is it next week? Are we getting one next week? I read somewhere that we are, but I haven't seen any official documentation that says we are.
I haven't seen any official post, but I
But
haven't
we
really
only
been-
got one this entire expansion. We had one in September. We
Did
need
you
to have
guild
another
during that
week
one?
of. I don't remember. That's not the point. That's crazy that if we only got one in 6 months.
I mean, I guild.
That's not what I'm referring to. It's fun. I'm not as obsessed with gilding.
If I see
during-
Greener with one less Iron Banner pip than me, I'm gonna bring it up every single fucking time.
There better be Iron Banner next week. Let's just let me say that. Is Iron Banner next week? Google, don't let me down. Somebody must have said something about something, right? Iron Banner Edge of Fate schedule. This is November 5th. See, this one says that it starts in 4 days, but it's just some random website. Like, I don't know if I believe it or not. I need to know if Bungie said it anywhere.
It's gonna run alongside Call to Arms, huh? That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably not. Or maybe it will. Na, 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 na. See, that's the only website that says anything about there being Iron Banner next week. That's why I'm scared. If not, they only have one more week after that, the last week. Man, I don't know. Iron Banner. Yeah, it doesn't show me anything. Should I tweet at DMG?
Yes.
You think he'll answer me?
No. Don't let that stop you, though.
I tweeted him. We'll find out. He loves me. He'll respond to me.
All right. Well, I think we've covered everything, sir.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let me bring that back up. I was reading Twitter. You can't open Twitter when I'm doing the podcast. So my brain just falters. Sprinkled throughout these months, there will be portal modifiers like weapon foundry sponsorships to juice the gear in your arsenal, heavy surges. Yeah, little things. That's one thing that I've that I wanted to talk about with.
Okay.
Not really much about it, but during Edge of Fate, I haven't been playing a whole lot of Destiny, but there does always seem to be like a little something special going on. It's not every week, but it was usually there's something, whether it's these silly hand cannon weeks or arms weeks or called arms that is this week. It's bigger than obviously an arms week, but heavy metal. Iron Banner, whatever's going on. It kind of reminded me a little indicative of a year one when there wasn't anything going on. They would throw in the faction rallies and shit to keep people interested in doing things. And it kind of reminded me. It's like, okay, so this is how they're going to fill their time or our time when they don't have the budget to create, content all the time. And I thought it was, if they could rejig it a little bit, push it out a little bit more interestingly, especially like this call to arms shit. Kind of reward all of their players instead of 10% of their players. I think they the player count says it's not enough for people to continue, but that's enough to keep me interested in week to week in between content. So I wonder if they're looking at creating like expanding on these things to the point where they can pump them out with minimal effort, but interestingly enough to keep people grinding every week.
Maybe.
Who knows? Who knows? Hopefully they're learning. And okay, so they did talk. Last thing they did talk. We kind of talked about it, but didn't really say anything. I don't know if we talked about it at all. Where is the exact word? Oh, I like this. Very quickly, the feedback made it clear that this was the wrong path for Destiny. Damn. All right, so they're focused on changing it around. I was looking where they specifically said this isn't the roadmap. Okay, right here. Here you go. As we continue acting and keep down, we're taking additional time to craft our long-term strategy for the future of Destiny before we share the full state of the game and multi-year roadmap next year. So they're still just what's the word I'm looking for? Fucking Destiny 2. It's Destiny 2. They're still hunkered down to make Destiny 2 keep going forever. So I just want Destiny 3, man. But if you can make Destiny 2 fun, then fine, and you can get player counts back up, fine. I just keep saying in my head, Destiny 3 is the easiest way to get players back. But if you can find a way to get players back and retain gamers in Destiny 2, that's just as good. That's just as good for me. You got to figure out how to do it, Bungie, because I don't know how to do it. I've got no fucking idea. All I know is how to inject a large player count for a short period of time. Maybe that's not worth it to them. Maybe they're just like, that's just not going to fix the overarching issues that we have with Destiny 2. So if we can figure out how to maintain and increase the player base on this game, maybe we can take that to Destiny 3 further down the road. And that's probably how they're looking at it, I would imagine. To the point where they may either bring it back or they kill it off completely. And then their only option is either a different IP or a full-on reboot of the game.
I feel like eventually we actually do leave the solar system. They don't put out a brand new game. They just rebrand Destiny 2 as Destiny.
I don't know why it's not called Destiny now, to be honest.
They do some kind of soft reset of our gear for in-game reasons. I feel like that's more likely where we're headed rather than a whole new game.
Let us keep our ornaments and stuff.
Yeah.
Bring back fun activities like Menagerie. Well, we were kind of talking about that earlier. The reason Menagerie was as fun as it was, not the only reason, but was because the loot was really good and you got a lot of it. I think that was, people look back at it with rose-colored glasses.
People need to remember that the reason you got so much loot is because of a bug. Yeah. It wasn't because of an intended game mechanic.
The Menagerie got a lot less interesting when they fixed the bug. Not saying that it was bad. It was still probably one of the best 6-player activities that they launched, just because of the variety and I don't know. I thought it was fun, but I think it's not as good as people remember it. I think they just remember the good loot and the good times. But yes, fun activities. And you got to think about fun activities for everyone. They can put out the best fucking raid ever known to man, but less than 15% of the players will play that raid. So they need to think, they need to do that, plus they need to do the best activities known to man, because then that's where that's where a larger player base they're the ones that interact with that. Strikes, 6-man activities, 3-man portal activities, all that stuff. Make them fun, make them good, make them awesome, and good end game content too. That even though only 15% of the player base interacts with, it still has to be good because they are the ones that are talking about your game. Okay, they're the ones that are going to get people excited to play it on social medias, on the Twitters, on the Twitches, on the YouTubes. Those are the ones you have to get excited so it filters down to the other players, and then you have to put in that other content for those players to interact with and like it and enjoy it and be like, holy moly, this is actually really good. What they should do is when they're done making Marathon, they should just take that and they should put it into Destiny as well. So then we have Destiny. We have an extraction mode in Destiny, which would be fun.
Think of Marathon does really well. It ends up.
They end up riding the ship.
Well. If Marathon does really well, you think Bungie focuses more on that IP than they do on Destiny? Or does Sony just give them more resources so they can keep their focus on Destiny as it is and expand on Marathon? I would probably think the latter, but Marathon would have to do insanely well, I think, for that to happen. Man, I wish you weren't buying an NDA. You could actually talk about shit. Smile.
I mean, I'm not sure. They made a lot of changes. Like, they took people's feedback. They're working on it. Sony says it's supposed to be out by March, which is what I
want to
said.
ask. I really want to just get you to answer the question. How does it compare to Arc Raiders? But you can't say shit. You can't.
Okay.
Can't do it.
I can tell you two different opinions on those two games, because, in my opinion, they're going to be two different experiences. Marathon's going to be a competitive extraction shooter, where Arc Raiders is a social extraction shooter.
Okay.
Things might change from that right now.
Social extraction shooter. What a fucking genre of game, bro, man.
I mean, that's what it is, though, right now. You look at it, people are having a blast, hanging out together, taking down these huge arcs together, having just a general good time, talking, whatnot, or even shit talking and just like destroying each other, having fun, but fuck you. You know, it's far more social. You're gonna see that stuff in Marathon with obviously the addition of proximity chat, but it's like that game is so much faster than Arc Raiders is. Arc Raiders is slow. You can have those conversations through the walls, doing your things. Like it's not the same experience. So they're gonna pull in some of the same audience, like the extraction shooter diehards, but the casual gamers that play those two games are gonna be completely different groups of people. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, listen, don't say too much.
Well, this was all known back from the open April 1. I've always thought the experience is going to be a social versus competitive, which makes the audience different groups of people, or maybe it makes the audience the same groups of people. Just when you want to lay back, relax time, you hop into Arc Raiders, and when you want to fucking buckle down and sweat, you hop into Marathon.
Yeah. When I want to sweat my ass off, I go into Marathon. When I want to be clipped and put on a Reddit thread as the evil of the game, I go play Arc Raiders and betray some bitch.
There you go. Exactly. That's what I'm seeing these two games as. Now, there's a lot of time before March. If they're truly identifying March as a release date, then a lot of stuff can be added to Marathon, and who knows what it looks like. I guess there's not as much time as I thought. There's only 4 months until March. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff can be added in 4 months, so it could look completely different by then. So I have no idea at this point.
All right, well, let's wrap up. Got any
I think
plugs?
So. No, man. I just want to do another shout out. We did awesome. Extra Life last weekend, huge. Beat last year's donation goals. Amazing stuff. Ended with $12,900 raised for Extra Life and the Children's Miracle Network. Shout out to everybody who watched. Shout out to everybody that supported. Shout out to everybody who donated. We smashed it. We killed it. To anybody who's waiting for stuff to be sent to them, may take me a little while to get it all out. There was a lot of stuff that needs to go out. So just be patient. It will arrive in different packages. Things are coming from different locations. So you may get stuff next week. You may get stuff the week after that. You may get stuff the week after that. Just be patient, and it will get there. And if something is not there after a while, yeah, you can DM me because I probably forgot. Or I didn't write it down. It was 48 hours. I was going on a lot of lack sleep, so I think we're doing. Anyway, awesome stuff. Amazing. Extra Life was incredible. We don't plan on bothering you again until Game to Give next year. So see you then.
All right. Announcements on my end. In-game bingo is ongoing. This is an opportunity for you to get together with your friends and play some dungeons and raids in order to earn yourself some prizes. Every single activity that you complete and mark it down on your card will earn you loyalty points. Even if you don't get one bingo, as long as you participate, you will get something. So, reach out to your friends, form some groups, run some in-game activities, and earn yourself some loot. Next month, normally we would do endgame, or we would do Dawning Bingo. We are not going to be doing Dawning Bingo this year. We're just going to simply do we will still have the cookie contest. So you try to make some Destiny themed cookies and post some pictures of them and what the recipes were that you did. We'll still be doing that with Renegades coming out and the actual Dawning event going on. I don't want people to be worried about an event. Just play the game, play the new activity, get your loot, don't worry about doing all kinds of crazy side stuff. And I'm also using the time to I'm cooking up a new community event to replace Clan Wars that I'm going to probably start reaching out to staff and see what they're willing to do if people do things. So a couple of different staff members expressed interest to me of being more involved in events. So I'm going to see if they're going to be willing to put their money or their hair color or whatever where their mouth is. So.
Okay. Sounds interesting. We done?
We're done.
Awesome stuff. Thank you so much for watching episode 131 of This Week at Shrouded. I was your host, A Greener. This is Mr. Wrecked. Lots of stuff coming to Destiny. Get excited for Renegades and maybe some changes coming forward. Thanks. It's been large. Hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next time on This Week at Shrouded.
Thanks for coming, and play more Destiny.